I'm Graham Elwood, and welcome to another episode of The Political Vigilante. As I said, had to change the name for trademark infringement reasons, but it's still the same stuff, and we're still going to be a crime-solving vigilante like this one. That is an artist's rendition and not a legal thing. I want to talk about an article in the Intercept by John Schwarz on Monday, January 16th, talking about basically his article is it starts the bizarre saga of potential Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election has created a genuine emergency in American politics. And what he goes into here, it's not about necessarily Russians' actions, like did they hack it, did they not? It's really about Trump and the Republicans' response, which is really kind of scary to me because the Democrats, you know, some of the Democrats are like, the Hillary people are just saying, oh, Russia, Russia, Russia. And if they do that without taking responsibility for the bad campaign they ran and how they didn't connect to working class people, then the Democratic Party, as I've talked about in other videos, is in trouble. But we still need to investigate this. And this is what John Schwarz goes into. He says, ignore the Trump dossier for the moment and forget about the baseless conjecture about Russian hacking the U.S. voting process itself. All we need to know about Trump and the Republican Party can be found in their position on the simplest, most plausible part of the story, that Russia was behind the hacked emails from the Democratic National Committee, Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and John Podesta. If this is what happened, and Obama, as he says in the article, didn't do itself any favors by, it didn't release hard evidence. This is the problem. Obama said, we're going to do something about this, but then doesn't release enough info. He doesn't show the smoking gun. And it's always like, oh, it's security. Okay, but you need to see some hard evidence, dude. Otherwise, it just sounds like you're complaining that you lost the election. Here's the thing. And he goes into this article. We must investigate this with great seriousness and impartiality and find out exactly what happened. This requires an independent commission with sufficient funding, a broad mandate, and legal authority that Congress creates, but then can no longer influence. Nothing should be less controversial than this. Like, this is the thing, and he talks about it, you know, in any other circumstance, the Republicans love wrapping themselves in the flag and saying how they're going to protect us from bad foreigners, you know, and all the liberals are soft on terrorism or soft on crime, and the Republicans, and now the Republicans are going, oh, settle down, it's not that big of a deal. If Hillary won this way, if Hillary was about to get sworn in, and there was there was talk of Russians hacking Republican emails that helped her, the Republicans would be going fucking nuts, man. And that's the other thing, since the Republicans love talking about the evil, like Trump's whole campaign was like, oh, I'm going to protect us from China and Mexico and all Muslims, but Russia's not that bad of a problem. This is insane to me. This is insane. So he goes in here, talks about in George Washington's 1796 farewell address, and he warned against the insidious wiles of foreign influence. The jealousy of a free people ought to be constantly awake, since history and experience prove that foreign influence is one of the most baneful woes of a Republican government. Washington was particularly concerned by the, quote, common and continual mischiefs of the spirit of party. So he warned against political parties because he talked about the continual mischiefs of the spirit of party, which is, I'm going to back my party no matter what. This is what's happening. When Hillary and, you know, Debbie Wasserman Schultz conspired to rig the primary with superdelegates giving all their votes to Hillary, regardless of whether the voters in a specific state voted for Bernie, they just, oh, that's politics. You know, that's your backer. You shut up, Bernie lost. And then Republicans are doing the same thing. Our guy won, so we're going to just let a foreign entity influence our elections? Even if they didn't hack the voting system, but they just hacked Democratic emails and released them, that's dangerous. That's not a democracy. And that influenced the election, and then what the FBI did, that's not a democracy. And he said he warned This, he said, the formation of parties opens the door to foreign influence and corruption, which finds a facilitated access to the government itself through the channels of party passions, and allows other countries to practice the arts of seduction to mislead public opinion, to influence or awe the public councils. So I guess he says here, Trump and the GOP are now busy proving how prescient Washington was. This is insane. Trump hasn't even endorsed any sort of independent investigation of Russia. He hasn't released any financial information that would clarify his any business dealings he's had with Russia. He just blocks and fights everything, and this is dangerous. If a Democrat was doing this, they would be going fucking bananas. They would be going bananas, and this is something that we can't let happen. And this article is needs to do something about it. We can question the CIA. Do they tell the truth? No, they're professional liars. But still, if there's enough of this evidence, there has to be investigated. And there's talk, is Senator John McCain want to use this as an excuse to start a new Cold War with Russia? Absolutely. Of course there's people that would like to start a new Cold War with Russia. That doesn't mean that it's still, you can't, if there's people who want to create a Cold War with Russia. I mean, maybe Putin and Trump want to start this Cold War because manufacturing arms is one of the only things that Putin can do for Russia to turn a profit, because they only have oil and arms, And obviously this is going to help, Obama cut some military spending, even though he loved spending money on drone strikes. All of that could be true. That still doesn't, but if it doesn't matter, if there was interference, if they did hack the emails, then we need to know about that. No matter how everybody else around it is trying to politicize it and use it for their own gain, which I don't endorse or condone or whatever, but that doesn't mean that it takes away from if this crime was committed. Let's go into what Bernie Sanders said. As Bernie Sanders has said on the subject, you got to walk and chew bubblegum, meaning you both have to investigate what happened and rebuild progressive forces around the country. Yes, we can rebuild the Democratic Party and investigate this. We can hold Trump accountable and investigate this. You can be in favor of Trump and still you should want to investigate this. If you call yourself an American, you should want to investigate this. Because this is the thing that was most compelling about the end of this article. It's that, so what's most deeply frightening about this whole story isn't what Russia did or didn't do. It's that Trump's response and the Republican blessing of it is Trump's most powerful demonstration that absolutely all bets are off. If he'll do this, there's nothing he won't do and nothing the GOP won't let him get away with. That's what terrifies me. He's just going to do whatever the hell he wants. He's tweeting, he's disregarding all of this stuff. A lot of his his nominations for cabinet members, some of them are already disagreeing with them. And I don't know, is that just a tactic so they get they get confirmed? But anything goes with Trump. Anything goes. And it's scary as shit. So speak up. If you call yourself a conservative, speak up. You know this is dangerous. Even if it's Hillary and people on the left crying, oh, that she lost, it still doesn't. This is scary stuff. This is why everyone should be an independent and shouldn't align himself with a party. This is stuff we should all be paying attention to. As I've said before, contact your representatives. Speak out. House.gov, Senate.gov. Let them know how you feel. Regardless of whatever your political affiliation is, let them know how you feel. This is Graham Elwood for Political Vigilante. The thumbs up, click it, and hit the subscribe button right below and share on social media. It helps us a lot. Thank you guys so much. I'm Graham Elwood. Thanks for watching.